Yeah, yeah. Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country, we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land.
So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. We must transform it. We must make it better for our children and children. I want to welcome you to the Dynamic Hour. Again, we have a unique opportunity to talk using social media and radio to connect. I want to encourage all those who are viewing me via Facebook and YouTube to please share the live. Sharing is caring. I want to start off this morning again by saying I am in full support of the teachers of the nation. I am always for workers. I believe if a person is employed with you, you have a duty, you have an obligation to pay them when payment is due. As a result, the teachers, they are the employees of the government of Grenada and specifically the Ministry of Education. So, the Ministry of Education must do what they have to make sure that all teachers are paid on time, temporary or permanent. You understand a teacher may go on study leave, a teacher may go on maternity leave, a teacher may go on sick leave. So that is something that happens from time to time. So you need to work with the Ministry of Finance, work with DPA to make sure that you process everything in time to avoid teachers not being paid when they're supposed to. So you have a duty. And that is why I am saying stop the excuse making. Stop blaming this ministry or that ministry. Just fix the problem and ensure that teachers get their money on time. And when I say teachers, I am speaking specifically about the teachers who are affected by this whole situation. It's not like the government doesn't have money. The government has money, plenty money. And paying the 70-something teachers or so, that should be easy, like 1, 2, 3. And that is why I am not blaming the government as the executive branch. I am blaming those who are hired to do the job within the ministries. The money is there. Do your work to make sure that the teachers are paid. Of course, there must be some leadership on the part of the executive arm of government. I agree. I fully agree. So there is a need for the system to change within those ministries and departments, because you don't want these things to be reoccurring, and not just in the Ministry of Education, in other ministries. I also said yesterday, I thought there should have been better communication between the schools and the parents. If you know that teachers would not be in the classroom, or at least some of them would not be in the classroom on Monday yesterday, I don't know about today, whether they have school today or not, and tomorrow, I don't know. But if you know there wouldn't be any school, what you need to do is to communicate that with the parents. Send them a WhatsApp message, all right? Send them some kind of communication, because nearly all of the classrooms, they have some WhatsApp group. Nearly all of the schools, they have a kind of general group that they work with. I am saying they can do the same thing to communicate with the parents, so parents would not have to leave their work and go and collect their children, because they don't want them to just be idling on the school compound doing anything unattended to. There are some teachers who taught yesterday. They went to school and they taught the classroom, all right? But there are some schools where you had some teachers who decided they're not teaching. I am saying, in going forward, there is a need for better communication between the schools and the parents. I am not against teachers standing up for their rights. I'm not against that, but I am simply saying there is a need for better communication between the teacher and the student or students, or the school and the parents, because with technology, it is easier to communicate. Again, I hope and pray that the Ministry of Education would get this right, fix it once and for all. I would assume changes will be made within the Ministry of Education and other ministries. All right? Because, look, some people may tell you that all the public officers are doing their job and they are professional. But I can tell you, there are some who are doing inside job, so to speak, working to undermine, working to destabilize the government. And let me tell you this further. It is the same playbook of the opposition forces. Between 2008 and 2013, they used the same playbook, the very same playbook, to use people within the different ministries who are loyal to them to undermine, to destabilize the government. And that is exactly what is showing up. This old cock, not going anywhere, he doesn't want to give up anything. He will still run come the next election if he gets the chance. And so far, he's hinting that he will run again. So he's waiting for that moment when there is serious instability. And he's not just sitting idly by and watching such, whatever happens. He's not like that. The individual would invest resources and time in seeing instability come to pass. He's working to destabilize the government. and he's using his supporters within the different ministries to undermine the government because he wants to come back. He wants to win again. And when I say he, I am referring to that power hungry individual. He just wants power. He's obsessed with it. He's hungry for it. All right? So I am saying the government must be very careful that they don't fall into that trap, because do not trust everybody and anybody who comes around grinning or skinning their teeth. Don't believe that they're your friend or they want to see good things happen for this government. Many of them, they got rank and promoted and all these different things under previous administrations. And they have some level of loyalty for who promoted them. And as a result, they would work to bring down this government, to destabilize this government. And they are doing so surgically. And they are doing so tactically and strategically. That is what they want to see. They want to see this government go down because the government is performing well. The government is doing stuff, getting stuff done, helping people and working with the Grenadian people, right, in many different ways. And there are a lot of people who don't want Grenada to develop, who don't want to see Grenada moving forward. I'm telling you, they just want to see Grenada on its knees. And they believe once things are bad, once there is a crisis, they would easily get their way. They would get back into power. They're going to rule again, govern again, and control things again. So those ministers of government should never take it for granted that all the people in their ministry is actually on their side. There's some PSAs who are working against them, who want to see the government out of power, this government. But they're going to cozy up with the ministers. They're going to pretend. That's how they function. They have always functioned that way. So I am saying it is a wake-up call. What happened and continue to happen in the Ministry of Education is a case in point. It's a good example, a good learning curve for this administration. You have to make some critical changes in some of those ministries. There are a lot of people who want to see the back of this government. They don't want good for Grenada. All right? A lot of people, they just don't want to see good things happen for Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. And as a result, they would work over time to see the demise of this government. So you have to put your people in place who are loyal to you, who are going to make sure that your agenda comes to life and you achieve what you set yourself out to achieve. It is clear cut. All right? So again, I stand in full support of the teachers and the GUT, the Grenada Union of Teachers, because I believe the president general of that union is genuine. He wants good for Grenada. He wants good for teachers. He wants good for the students also. I believe that wholeheartedly. And he's genuine. And mind you, when the GUT speaks, I tend to believe their numbers, their version, more than the Ministry of Education, which is sad. But that is the place I am at. I tend to believe more of what the GUT is putting out than what the Ministry of Education is putting out. Because I have lost confidence in the people within that ministry who continue to play games. And I pity the minister. I mean, the guy is trying. I pity him. I feel sorry for him. I'm being honest with you. Because he's surrounded by an ant's nest. of people who are loyal to the opposition forces, in my belief. And they would work overtime to undermine this government through that ministry, because they know that teachers historically have been very supportive of the NDC push to get into power and to change things. So they know. And to work through the Ministry of Education is an easy path to getting them to be upset. So if you get that base, that core group upset and vexed and angry, then you have succeeded. So that's the strategy. Simple strategy, to get your people angry and bitter and sour. Yes, you did a lot of things for teachers and public officers, but you have to understand politics. You could do a lot of things for people. And I think not just politics, but life generally. But just do one bad thing. And that's what they will remember. Just that one bad thing. So you do all the good. Right? I mean, what's working for us is the fact that the other side has an unpopular leader. The other side has a bunch of geriatrics who are tainted goods. They're expired. Their shelf life is, the best before date, come and gone, long, long, long. So that's working good for us. And the instability within their party and the fighting and the struggling and the back and forth. But we got to get this thing straight, because people are observing. There are people within those ministries who are undermining the government, the governance process, because our beloved political leader and prime minister, the most honorable Deacon Mitchell, he wants good for Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. He's a genuine soul. He wants to see transformation happen, right? He wants to see the living standard and condition of our people improve. He wants that. But the team must support him totally, and not just ministers of government, but I'm talking about senior management officials and people within those different ministries. They have to support the policy. A PS has to support government's policy and make sure that they achieve all the objectives, or nearly all the objectives, that the government sets out. You have to follow the policy. You have to do what the policy says. You can't be pulling this way and pulling that way within the ministries. So there is a need for reform, for changes to be made. It might be changes that are unpopular, but you have to make those changes, because it's not a popularity contest when it comes to governance. You have to make those changes to get the outcome that you want. There are too many chameleons. There are too many lizards who could easily turn from green because they go on some yellow piece of thing. They turn yellow. But they're green. They're green to the core. But they can easily turn yellow to make you believe that they are with you. But they are not. They're not with you. They're pretending. And you would bring them in your inner circle. And that is the problem. I say to people, my circle is very small. And I have eyes that many people don't in terms of the politics and current affairs. My circle is very, very small. I don't bring certain people within my circle. All right? I know the people who I can count on. So you have to be very, very careful. I say to people, I am going around, and sometimes you have certain official, events and so on and certain things, and you go around and you see certain faces and you wonder, well, who is that person? Who's that person? Where they come from? Where they were? That kind of thing. You're wondering. But all of a sudden they find themselves within that space. They're able to get in, and they're Mr. this and Mr. that and Mr. this and Mr. that. And you wonder, overnight, I was reflecting a bit, and I said, in Grenada, to maintain power, you cannot rely solely on the academics, the pseudo-intellectuals. You cannot rely on the elites only to maintain power in this country. You cannot. You need to be able to harness the knowledge of people who do not have a first degree, a second degree, or a PhD, but they understand the politics and they understand people's relation, how to deal with people, how to work with people, how to persuade people, how to get them on your side. And mind you, they are not perfect. They may not be as slick as the elite, but they're able to get you where you want to go. I always say to a good friend of mine, a truck with load was stuck or got stuck under the tunnel many, many years ago. And all those bright people were like, let's take out the stuff and let's cut this and let's remove that top and remove this. And a vagrant was passing and he said, remove the air from the tires, right? Deflate it, remove the air from the tires, and the vehicle will go down and you'll be able to get it out. And that was the solution. So sometimes we look too far for solutions. Sometimes we tend to embrace those who, instead of saying, instead of using simple words, all right, they use big words, right? You see? Big words that mean the same as I concur, instead of saying I understand, that kind of thing. Assiduously, instead of saying diligently, Yeah, and these guys, they're able to trick a lot of people and get to where they want to go. They're skillful. They've been at it for years. So you have to embrace a mix. It's good to have them, but a mix, because historically, if you check it out carefully, the people who are the elites, the people who are the academics or the pseudo-intellectuals, they tend not to have a good relationship with their neighbors, with people altogether. They go to work, they open the electric gate or the automatic gate, and the vehicle glass is all the way up. They go to work, and then they head back home. They open their gate, and you don't see them. They don't have a good rapport with the people in their vicinity, in the area. You see, I use the word vicinity, in the area. All right? They cannot get you additional votes. They cannot get you votes altogether. They may not even be able to persuade their wife or family members to vote for you. That is what it is. And some of them, you hear them openly, They walk in and they would say, well, I don't have to go to these people for any vote. I don't have to answer to these people for anything. I am not running for anything. And they will tell you they're not interested in the politics. But when you investigate, it's the politics that got them the work, that put them in certain position. But they get so big that they forget. That is where they came from, really, meaning that if it was not for NDC, they would not have been there, and so on and so forth. So I am saying we have to embrace the simple people, because they may be able to teach us a lot and to help us. All right? So it's just important to start off the program that way this morning, because ultimately we want to win an election. And if you are politically savvy, you will realize the old cock not going anywhere. This guy is divisive. This guy is dangerous for Grenada's survival as a country, as a nation. For Grenada to move forward, for Grenada, Carriacou, and P.T. Martinique to move forward, this guy has to be nowhere wrong. Anything. This individual has, in other words, there are some people, they are better not be wrong than they are wrong. All right? This individual is dangerous for Grenada's democracy. His type of politics is frightening. And we have to be real, If Grenada has to move forward, there are certain individuals who ought not to be there holding Grenada back. Very divisive. And here it is. I called a friend this morning and I said, pal, when a certain individual went on a platform and accused Peter David or other people within a certain political party of going around and campaign for leadership, and he went as far as to say that some actually paying delegates to vote for them. That was a lie, but it was a strategy to fool the delegates and to fool his supporters into believing that that is actually happening. But that's a lie. That was a strategy used to bounce back, because that individual wants to run again. But that individual believes that he is John Crampton, the deceased John Crampton of St. Lucia. He believes that. And he believes that he can die in office. He believes that the Grenadian people going to call back for him. But mind you, he would be like that person in the classroom who go into your bag, take X and take Y, and still helping you to look for it. So don't believe that he would sit back and just leave the NDC to govern peacefully. He would seek to destabilize the country and undermine our democracy with the hope that he would come back as the savior, and he would play the victim and come back with the hope as he would, the guy would come back as a savior. So he's thinking that he would die in office like John Crampton. But he's not John Crampton. If you look at his history and his character, his record, his conduct in public life, and we can go on and on, he's nowhere close to John Crampton. I am saying we need to be politically astute. And if you understand what is at play, you would know this old cock doesn't intend to step aside. In fact, come the convention of that organization, is it an organization or that piece of thing? The individual would have his people nominate him and vote for him. And he knows that if they do that, there's a great probability that he would win. And then he would say, well, it's a democratic process. The people want me, and they voted for me again. Yeah. And then Miss Faith would toe the line because Miss Faith would not challenge him because she's playing the game. She wants to be leader one day. And she knows that if he anoints her, then she could be the leader. So she would go and fill in the slips as deputy, as second in charge. That's a strategy. Simple strategy. But I'm saying the level of tribalism, the level of divisiveness that this individual bring to the politics is dangerous for Grenada's existence and survival. And we must do all in our power to prevent this creature of a person from ever stepping back in the halls of power in this country. And even if the individual is not in the halls of power, we must do all in our power to make sure that that individual goes into retirement and is curtailed somewhat because he's toxic. The individual is toxic. It's dangerous for our politics, dangerous for our survival, dangerous for our democracy, which is sad. Very, very sad. But I think Grenadians are coming to terms with that realization. That old BlackBerry is not of any use to this nation. And you see it online, on every platform, even platforms that are friendly to them. People are going there and venting and expressing themselves. You look at some of the posts on Facebook, on Instagram, I mean, people beating them up. Beating them up. Look, this new nasty party is very, very unpopular. You know? Extremely unpopular. And when I say NNP, I'm referring to the new nasty party, the acronym NNP. Very unpopular. Just go and read the comments under some of the posts, and you would see. And no matter who posts what, the NDC is not perfect, but definitely, I can tell you, the new nasty party is oh boy. And don't matter who among them they post. Real blows. Real blows. But folks, I want to say to you, the government continues to regularize workers. That is why I say openly, Brian Grimes is a union donkey. I gave him that name. I christened him. Brian Grimes, the union donkey, is losing everything. He has lost his way, and he continues to erode any little support he had among the ranks within that union. Because they're talking, they're expressing themselves, saying that this guy is acting somewhat alone. I don't know, but they're saying that he's acting somewhat alone, believing that he would ride some tide and get somewhere. Just look at this. Simply put, the teachers, they do what they have to do, and they stood firm. I support what they do. I support their stance. I believe that they have to get their pay. If a man works, he should be paid. But here you have the Grenada Public Workers Union, the GPWU, an issue as the regularization of workers and the coming to being of a new pension scheme that's sustainable for contract workers. For contract workers. All right? Here it is. I happen to view the page through, well, with one of my other Facebook names. I happen to view that page. And Brian Graham's page, right? So I happen to view that page with another name, another account, another of my accounts. And this idiot has on his page, pension reform as proposed by this administration will not better the lives of our workers. I laugh because this guy has to be a political lunatic. He has to be the union donkey in truth. We call on the NDC administration to review their approach. All right? This is what he is actually saying. Not many people like what he posts. Not many people commented on what he posts. In fact, just about 2 or so people like it, and just about 3 people or so shared the thing. All right? But here it is. This guy is so foolish. As it stands now, contract workers, people who are employed in the public service, contract for service, contract workers, temporary workers, unestablished workers, they are retiring without a pension because they are on contract. They are going home without a pension. They have nothing to get. But this union donkey on his page is saying pension reform as proposed by this administration will not better the lives of our workers. We call on the NDC administration to review their approach. Something has to be wrong with this guy. Better the lives of? So are you saying to me, as it stands now, the lives of contract workers, unestablished workers, contract for service workers are better or good as it stands now? The NNP introduced contract labor within the public service, the 340 vote. And since then, these workers came into the service, and when they going out, they go home with nothing. Nothing from the employer, no pension. The established workers, the permanent workers, those who are not on contract, they are permanent, they are going home with a pension every single month of 66.66% of their last highest emolument or last high salary from the employer, the government of Grenada, because they fall under the 1958 pension scheme or plan or laws. The government made it very clear, and all who did research and assessment of this particular 1958 pension scheme or plan, they concluded that it's not sustainable. So you cannot add more people to it. So those who are on contract, as it stands now, if they retire today, they are going home without a pension. And a lot of them retired, and they went home without a pension. My mind goes back to this worker from Lamode. She worked as a cleaner within the general hospital. You know, a cleaner, that kind of light blue. Not nursing assistant. Light blue. She worked there for many, many years. She told me she retired, reached the age of retirement, and she went home with nothing, zero. She had her battles with the Public Workers Union, and they know who I'm talking about. And she made it very clear. She would love to see, even if she did not benefit, she would love to see workers who are there now on contract benefit from a pension plan, a new pension plan. So when they go home, they could get $800 every month, or they could get $1,000 every month. That is what she wants to see for them. But this union donkey, Brian Grimes, is making that pronouncement through his post that pension reform as proposed by this administration. And let me play for you what the government is proposing. All right? Pension. Because our Prime Minister, the most Honorable Deacon Mitchell, spoke about it. All right? Yeah, because he made the case for that. Let me see if I can get something here speaking to that. All right, let me see if I can just play a little piece, because it's important to put it in context so people can understand what is at stake. All right, so the new pension scheme. Hey, Zoe, are you doing? You good? Huh? Oh, grandma want money? To where? To do what? To bring you in the daycare? Okay. Tell her use her money. I don't have money on me. Tell her use her money and I'll give her back. Where is it? Where? You see money there? How much money is that? Huh? That's my money? No. Yeah? Well, you can't take all that. I didn't realize your money. You're too bright. Right, so that's $10. She has to bring back $5. All right, put back the dollar. No. Yes. Zoe, put back the dollar. She going with the dollar. What? She going with the dollar? Lord. Yeah. Zoe.
Consideration will be given to more than 3,000 contract workers in the public service under the new pension scheme. Cabinet has already approved the pension policy framework, and government will go to Parliament in October to enact legislation to create the new scheme, of which part of the contributions will come from government as the employer and part from the employees. Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell made the announcement on Monday during his administration's first in a series of town hall meetings to commemorate their second year in government. The new scheme will cater to workers with both contracts for service and off service.
We have committed that come the 1st of October, we will be going to Parliament to enact legislation to create a new pension scheme for these workers to ensure that they have the opportunity to have a pension. And I want to be clear, the established workers who have their pension established by the Constitution, we are not interfering with you. You have your pension, we restored it, we paid the retroactive, and we will continue to pay. But that is a pension that you do not contribute to. That is a pension that is funded entirely by the taxpayers of this country, you, me, all of us. We cannot continue in a situation where you have 3,000 persons who don't have pension. Because when they retire, what will happen to them?
Prime Minister Mitchell said this is the first step in the process to abolish the distinctions between contract for and off service, since they are all government employees and must be treated as such. He said the new pension scheme will be designed so contributions are transferable from one job to the other.
Anyone who is hired by the government thereafter has to come on to the pension system where they contribute, the government contribute, and when you retire, you can have your pension. If you move from the government to the private sector, you could take your pension with you. If you want to exit the government service, you can get the contributions you have made to that pension for yourself. Because I want you to understand something about the current pension system. It has certain rules. You have to work by a certain length of time before you could get it. So if you have to work for 21 years and you want to leave at 18, you cannot leave because you will not get the pension. So we could be honest, some of us grind it out only because we want to make sure we get the pension. But we have to create flexibility. So the new pension scheme will ensure that if you want to leave, you can leave and you can take your contributions with you. You can transfer your pension to the private sector or to wherever you wish to go.
And you know, that is what makes sense. So that is what the government is proposing. Because the contract workers know if they retire, when they retire, they are going home with nothing. So for Brian Grimes, who is the president of the Public Workers Union, to make such a statement on his Facebook page, something must be wrong with such an individual. Because here it is, the government does not have any obligation to come up with a pension plan for these people, you know. The government is not legally bound to come up with a new pension plan for these contract workers. The government could just leave them just like that. The 3,000 or so of them, the government could just leave it just like that. And they could continue to retire without a pension. So that's a really foolish fight for Brian Grimes, the union donkey, to pick. You cannot win that fight. It's a stupid one. The government will not just go ahead and regularize everybody like that. You're mad? In fact, Brian Grimes should be the first to come out and admit that the government regularize a good amount of public officers. I was very impressed with P.S. Marshall when she gave a good account of how many workers were regularized to date. But that is something that I proposed to my good sister, all right, Claudette Joseph, Senator Claudette Joseph, Minister for Labor and so on. I suggested that she should have a ceremony every time you are handing out the letters confirming people in certain positions. So as you regularize workers, so let's say you have 5 nurses, 10 nurses, 10 teachers, 10 police officers, 10 prison officers, you should have a ceremony showcasing that. That's politics. Showcasing that. By now, Brian Grimes, the union donkey, would have been quiet. But we didn't see that happen. But I'm happy that P.S. Marshall came out and explained.
Public administration has denied claims made by President of the Public Workers Union, Brian Grimes, that they are refusing to respond to queries on the status of the regularization of public workers. In an earlier report, Grimes disclosed to our news desk that they have engaged the services of a local law firm to write the Department of Public Administration, seeking answers over the delayed regularization of its members. In an exclusive interview with MTV News on Friday, Permanent Secretary at the DPA, Lindonna Hilaire Marshall, refuted the claims, stating that they have been in regular engagements with the union up until August of this year.
This year, we met with the union again in March, the 22nd, the 25th of July, and on the 15th of August. The last claim that we ignored the last letter, I would admit, they did write to us on the 22nd of August after we met on the 15th of August. On the 15th of August, we explained and we went through all of the matters that was in the letter on the 22nd. So hence, in my view, there was no urgency for me to respond to the letter on the 22nd since we have already discussed the matters on the 15th. So, I did not see the need for this claim that we are not open to discussion and consultation on the matter.
She dismissed the union leader's comments as irresponsible, stating that it is a process which is done in phases, considering the vast number of individuals waiting to be regularized.
I see it as irresponsible on the part of the union, and I would say that because we've expressed the fact that regularization is a process. It is not about us taking the full 4,000 people who are unestablished and placing them onto the establishment. So we've decided to do the regularization in phases. We said 3 phases will be done. The first would take care, and we explained all of that. The first would take care of the established people, the second the unestablished, and the third, as we said.
She further highlighted the category of workers that has been regularized thus far, noting that they have already surpassed their expectations for the first phase.
So for the first phase, yes, the beginning part of it took a little more time than we expected, and that's normal. We never expect to get all our plans done exactly as we envisage it to be done. So we've targeted 300 people to be regularized in the first phase. To date, we've regularized, and I can get to the exact number. To date, we've regularized 404 positions. And if we want me to break it down, the mainstream, 211, the police, 45, the prison, 14, teachers, 117, principals, 10, and we've done 7 community nurses. So that is way past our expectations with regards to the first phase of the regularization. We've heard that if you walk into the ministries and you ask people if they're regularized, they will tell you no. Of course, the majority of people will tell you no because the first phase only catered for a minimal amount. Obviously, we are not at that point yet.
Marshall disclosed that they are presently conducting the functional review exercise, which is the prerequisite for the commencement of the second phase of workers to be regularized this year.
Yeah, so thank you, Troy Gill there, MTV. It's a very good piece. The facts, putting the facts on the table. 404 public officers were regularized, and I realized that teachers' numbers are actually high. Teachers' numbers are actually the highest besides the general public workers, right? Besides people from different ministries and so on. Teachers as a group, they kind of stand out there. Police also, prison, and so on. And that's good. That's very good. Nurses, that's very good, right? It's a process. It's a process. So the people who are on contract, the unestablished workers, the government is trying to put a new pension plan in place for them because they have nothing. Right now, as it stands, they're at zero. They're retiring and going home with nothing. A new pension plan that would, make sure that they get something upon retirement. Folks, I want to say also, there is this notion out there that NDC should fix every damn thing that the NNP mess up or did not fix. They need to just fix everything. They have to work magic and pay this one and pay that one and fix all the roads and fix all the schools and fix all the police stations and fix all the mess in the public service and fix everything and employ everybody and create this and create that. And there's this idea that they could fix everything. Be careful with that. This expectation, be very, very careful with that. Also, some NDC supporters, all you acting too like them NNP. All right? I think that's the way to describe it. I didn't want to say all you acting too greedy, and grabby. You're acting too much like them NNP and them. You seem to be impatient. You seem to want everything now. And you become a part of the complaining industry. You know, I meet them every day. I hear them every day. And you complain too damn much. Some of you all, you complain too much. You could see nothing good. You complain, grinding, groaning. You becoming like them NNP and them. Some of all you. Not all, some. A very few. All right? You're too critical. Too much. And you complain and bitter and so. Even if you get certain things already, you still want more. Stop it. Stop it. All right? I observe that. It's a kind of bad spirit. I observe that. You meet them and only bad news. They are bearers of bad news. You know? You meet them, they only complaining, grinding, crying, groaning, just like them NNP and them. Some of you all. And when you check it out, some of you all benefited in some way or the other. But you want too much, too quick. Eat small and leave long. Calm down. Some of you all. All right? I've been assessing that over time. You complain too damn much. And you want too much too quick. Take your time. We meet you wherever, and then you're sad, some bad thing, some kind of thing you have to say, some kind of thing you're condemning some minister, some senior person, somebody, and you understand? Stop it. There are certain times you have to do what you got to do. You know? Sometimes you have to condemn. Sometimes you have to be vexed on certain things. Certain things, yeah. Sometimes you have to fight to see what you could get. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. That's life. Sometimes gotta keep it down. All right? There are some people who are out here fighting and they have not gotten 1 cent. They have not gotten any work. They have not gotten any assistance here, there, and wherever. But they're still out here fighting, still out here supporting their party, supporting the government, defending their party, and defending their government. I mean, for me, I hate when you have some people, because they get a little work and they're on the top, and the minute time you talk about something that makes sense, they're quick to come down your throat. I hate that. That is why from time to time, me and my partner, Randall Robinson, we don't see eye to eye on certain things. You know, he's in the post office, you get a little blind and thing. That's good, that's okay. But anytime you see, you know genuinely, boy, what a man saying is true, you know. What a woman saying is true. And if we work on it, we go be in a better place. And you're quick to just jump on the person, and I ain't like that. You understand the point? Unless I see the person working differently, doing some work to correct it and fix it, and you could jump on the person's throat. Nothing wrong with that. You could say what you want to say if you're doing some work to fix it and correct it and better it and improve it. Because all of us want to see NDC there for a long, long time. We want to see that. We may have different styles and different way of doing things and so on. But I'm saying we must understand that the government is only there 2.5 years. And the government, the NDC, going to be there for a long time. A very long time. More than 15 years. Mark my words. The NDC going to be there for a while. So don't believe that, the thing running out and you grabby. Yeah. You understand the point? Yeah, you. Calm down. Calm down. Take your time. Things go happen. Not everybody go get an opportunity one time. You know, somebody called me and say, well, my child applied for this and My child didn't get through, but I see another person get through. I'm glad for the person who get through now. Be happy for the person. And I vote for them, and I say, calm down. 20-something years, you ain't get nothing. At least you have a chance that you could apply. And you apply, and you may be considered in going forward. But you believe that because NDC in power, your child must get through, or you must get through, and you must get this, and you must get it. And if you don't get it, you vex, you blue, you do, and then NDC must this, and then this, and they have to be careful, and then I was listening to a lot of these things, And I'm a guy that's processed them things, So sometimes we gotta, right? Sometimes we gotta cool down the tempo. There are a lot of people out here, and I know, who worked hard, who campaigned, who did this, and they want nothing. They just want to see NDC remain in power, and they want to see Grenada move forward. They want to see Grenada transformed. I know that personally. And there are some who need to get certain things, who need certain assistance, who need certain positions, and that kind of thing. So we understand it. There are some people like that. But some may get through in the first phase, the first 2 years, the first 3 years. Some people may benefit significantly. And some may be in the next 2 years or the next 5 years. All right? So we got to kind of balance the thing. Kind of balance it off. Everybody can't get one lash, one lick. I was speaking to a friend. So who ain't getting money yet that they're giving for the farmers and so on? I say, calm down. They say they're giving it in phases. And then he got the money and he called me, say, I get the money now, and I get, yeah. But his pressure almost gone up the roof. When he started to talk, and he said, no. I said, calm down. Calm down now. Yeah, calm down. They said they're going to do it in phases. And there are some people who got the money, but they ain't get the amount that they're supposed to get because they have more than 5 acres of land. So there's a mix-up and thing. I say, calm down. For some people who called, I say, calm down. They're going to look into it, and they're going to make the changes. Go in, submit your name, submit the claim, and let them document that, they made a mistake and so on. And let's see how we could work to rectify it and correct it, because you're entitled to it. So we have to work in a very smart way, because here it is. It was the same kind of spirit that existed between 2008 to 2013. It was even worse. But I am slowly seeing that creeping up. Yeah? Yes, slowly seeing that creeping back in, where they're playing the game with the NDC supporters to make them believe that they're entitled to everything, and that they should get everything that they want. So your child needs a scholarship, she should get it. She doesn't get it, they make you angry, they make you vex, even if you have 50 other people who applied and didn't get. But you believe that your child is entitled. Your child applied for some teaching position, they didn't get you, so you're angry, you're bitter. You applied for the seed program, you didn't get through because you're NDC, you're angry, you're bitter, and they make you believe that. All right, so you go for some housing assistance, you ain't get through yet, you vex, you angry, you bitter. You call the minister, you ain't get through them, you vex, you angry, you bitter. You go to complain about some road or whatever, and you ain't get that fixed yet, you're angry, you're bitter. And it goes on and on. Some kind of thing giving away and you ain't get through, you're bitter, you're angry. Or you want certain position, you want to see certain things happen, it ain't happening yet, you're angry, you're bitter. That was a kind of spirit that existed between 2008 2013. Calm down. And we need to invest time and resources in political education, going into different constituencies, inviting our supporters to come in a particular space and teach political education, and also counsel some of our supporters so that they would understand that things take time and everything would not happen overnight. And not everything that you want, you're going to get. And that is why we have to train our children too, You know, my two daughters, when they asked for this, I said, no. I said, sit. You're not getting this now. Right? So we may cook food. And then I want that kalalu soup. I say, you eating that kalalu soup? Because that is what it has. Or else you're staying hungry. You got to eat it. And I'm going to make sure you eat it. Right? Because they prefer spaghetti and they prefer the macaroni and they prefer the... You understand the point? So not everything you want, you could get. Say that is what you're going with for break today. You're not getting this. So sometimes you got to discipline your kids like early o'clock. Yeah, early o'clock, or else they could embarrass you down the road the day you and have you're in problems. And that is life generally. Same thing with our supporters. We have to be able to culture them in such a way that they understand some things. I'm not saying that some of the ministers can't do more or can't invest more or can't look some more after the supporters. And so I'm not saying that. I am all for that. But I'm saying that there is a kind of feel, and it was a 2008, 2013 feel, because I experienced that period. I know. All right? I know. So when I tell you that, it's kind of re-emerging, showing its ugly head back again. And that, to me, we have to kind of nip it in the bud early. You cannot get everything that you want. And we are becoming too... In other words, that's how the NNP and members operate. That's how they've always operated. You complain too much. You grind, you groan too much. You have only bad things to say every time you meet them. Well, the NDC need to look for their people, and the NDC need to do this, and the NDC need to do that. And then I say, yes, all what you say is true, you know. But God, every time you meet me, it's the same thing. All right? You see? Yeah. Calm it down a little. So we have a lot to achieve together. We have to still push to encourage our MPs to do the work, to look for their people. Of course, we have to push for that. And to organize themselves within the different constituencies. I agree with all of that. All right? But we have to be like a support. Sometimes those MPs, those ministers, they need more help than you, you know. Yeah, they may not show it, they may not see it. I'm telling you, sometimes I see the kind of stress they're under, the kind of frustration, because they want things to happen, you know. They want you to be in a better place. They want to help you. Sometimes it's just difficult. So sometimes you gotta, calm it down a little. I remember a good friend say, Kem Jones, well, how you doesn't this and your... I say, bye, I don't worry too much. Because plenty things don't put me out. I don't need a lot to be happy. All right? But I would tell the person that because I want them to be happy and so on, but sometimes things tough. Sometimes things hard, rough. But me telling them about my problems and my issues, I might send them crazy because they're already coming to you with problems and issues. And you want them at least to go feeling better and feeling, you know. Sometimes you kind of sacrifice your situation and so on for them. There are times like that, you know. It could be tough, real tough. But sometimes you understand you're a bit tougher than that person and you want to still, you know. On that note, I want to again express my appreciation to Azam Rahman. He is the Assistant General Secretary of the NDC. He saw it fit to donate a AC unit to me for the studio. You know, I had one, but it was not working for a good while now, some years ago. All right, it stopped working, and it could be very hot in here. And I didn't ask him for it, which was really good. He saw the need to donate that AC unit to me. And yesterday, my good friend Frank, a solid camper, he came and he set it up with his workers for free. All right, so I want to thank Frank and his workers for their continued support for what I do. And Azam Rahman, you and your family, you've always been very, very supportive of what I do. I want to thank Dolan Francis, for picking it up for free. I want to thank you. And I'm saying all of this because sometimes people believe, well, Kem Jones is all okay, man. Everything is taken care of. He's supported and things are happening for him. That's not the case many a times. There is a group of people who would give every month. Sometimes the amount that is required might be short by thousands, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. All right? Don't believe that it's all smooth ride and everything is A-okay every time. No. Sometimes people promise to give and things do pop up and just don't work out the way it's supposed to. And sometimes that $50 or that $100 or that $200 or $300 just don't come true, right? It's kind of tough and it show off everything in terms of bills and commitments and so on. It's not easy to run this operation, all right? It's not like we're doing ads and we're getting ads and we're running ads all through the program and so on. No. That's not the case, all right? And that is why I repeat and I express appreciation to the people who give from time to time, who support from time to time. Because it's not like government is giving me anything every month. And it's not like that. It's not like I'm working with government, they're supporting this or getting this, some this, and getting... No. I don't. I still depend on the people who give the little that they give every month to keep this operation going. That is why I'm eternally grateful to the people who give towards this operation, because there are people out there who could give, but they don't give. But they would meet you and say, well, Kim, I like your program, and I'm supporting what you're doing, and I'm supporting, and I like you, and you're standing up for the government, and you're defending the party, and you're defending the government, and you're supporting it, and I like your program, and I'm learning all. Yeah, there are people like that who could actually give a $50 or $20 or $100 or $500. They could give, and they have what it takes to give, but they don't. There are people like that, and they watch the program every morning, and they watch the program every night, and they listen to the program every morning, and they listen. Yeah. But there is a handful. There's a group of people who would give a little every month because they understand the program needs to survive. Yeah. I don't believe that the NDC as NDC would just say, well, Kim, just look this and look that. And where I'm happy that Azam Rahman, who is the Assistant General Secretary of the NDC, right, donated from his business this AC unit, because he said, boy, Kim, just I realize you're sweating. Right? I'm watching you, but you're sweating. That is why I'm eternally grateful. Right? So there are people who are genuine, who are sincere. Who say, boy, they sit down and they say, but Kim Jones, you have 2 daughters. How are you taking care of them? How are you sending them to school? How are you making sure that they're in the daycare? Like one in the daycare and one in the school. How are you making sure that your bills in your house paid and you're eating? How are you handling all of that? Huh? You have a family, you know what I mean? There are people who would sit down and assess that and say, but wait, how the man taking care of his family? How he taking care of his kids and so on? How he paying his bills at home and how he getting by? There are people who are genuine and sincere who would sit and reflect on that. Yes, the man is out there every morning and every night doing programs, and it's not just coming on a mic, you got to plan and prepare, and that is why this program is different from the others. I come with facts. I prepare, I organize when 5:30 I'm up, When 5:30 every morning I am up, prepping, planning, going through things, reading, organizing, getting the right frame of mind. Then I go and I exercise, right? And then I come back. I listen to a couple of programs and so on, and then I get ready for the program. This thing is not no walk in the park. If anything happens in Granitang and something break down, it's me. I have to get people to fix and organize. It's what it is. So it's not easy. Don't believe it's a walk in the park. But there are those out there who, they're quick to criticize it. And Kim just say, and Kim just say this, and Kim just say this, and Kim just to do this, and Kim just to do that. But mind you, when they call me and I put them in the place, they going, come. They boiling down like Baji. Because the majority of people would say those things and condemn and criticize. They don't give anything. They don't support nothing that I do. But they're the high priests when it comes to the politics and when it comes to NDC and so on and so forth. But when it comes to and that is why I always feel good when I see foot soldiers who always on the front line. You have like a fundraiser. They quick to cook something. They quick to donate something. They quick to be there, supporting and ensuring that, when I love to see when they get something, when they get help, when they get assistance, because there are some people who always there, always, every time, like a fundraiser. And I'm not talking about now that NDC win the election. Right now, NDC win the election, and you see certain people just appear. They front, because they want this and want that. I'm talking about the people who been there when NDC was nowhere in power. They're making the fish cake, they're making the bakes, they're making the service house, they're doing the provision, they're cooking the food, you have a party, they packing drinks, they're doing this, they're organizing, they're going to beg this one, beg that one, for this and for that, to make sure that the thing happen, to make money, to keep the thing going. I just feel happy when I see these people get something. You're joking. I just feel happy in my spirit, because I know it's not easy. It's not easy to keep this thing going and to have committed people around you to make sure that thing happens. When you win, a lot of people just front up and all of a sudden you see them appear. You win the lotto. You get in family members that you never knew. You say your cousin and cousin of this cousin and cousin of that cousin, because they're coming for something. Because you win, you're victorious, but let you not be there. And you're fighting to be there. You ain't seen much of them. No, you're mad. Look at the NNP, for example. When NNP was in power, you used to see a lot of them people all about the place, fronty. Now NNP in opposition, very few of them you've seen working with NNP and fighting to see if they could get them back in power. Same thing. Once NDC in opposition is a similar thing. So that is why you have to harness and cherish and work with the people and look for the people who are around you every day, with your little fundraiser, your little events. You have a meeting, you have some people, just say you have a meeting. They come in, they decorating the place, they sweeping, they packing up the chairs, they get in the table, they get in the curtain, they get the tablecloth, the flowers, they get in everything. You go and ask them, you say, well, I want a bus. By the time you say bus, they say, you want 2 buses, I'm paying for it for you. There are people like that. You have to keep them close. You don't find these people easy. And if you want to know if a person genuine, get into power and don't give them X and don't give them Y what they're looking for. And see if they go drop out. If they go give up on you. That's a test. You hear me? You get into power. Some of them looking for this. Watch. I saw. Because I'm a man on the ground. There were 2 individuals. All right? Boy, every time I go in a particular location, they cry and they don't get nothing yet, and they don't get this yet, and they don't get that yet. I say, calm down, have a little patience. You'll get something, 2 they get. Who big like them? Who show offy like them? Who plain thing like them? You joking? You haven't seen them around certain events now. They come biggie and bushy and they got rank, they got position, and you understand? Yeah. And they happy. I say, but no. I know when these people get position and all the time they crying. Every time you see them, they crying. They get a little blind away. Who could big like them? Who's Kem Jones? Huh? You go and you see. You don't see them around events and so on because they get a little. It's amazing. They get through, they get a little blind thing, and they just change. It's like, okay, but no, sir, you should be giving a little thing to the NDC constituency branch. No, sir, you should be supporting 1 or 2 NDC supporters, you know what I mean? Helping and doing what you could, see what you could do. No, sir, you should be involved. Way, they turn bushy and see one of them, they buy a new vehicle and they say, I'm glad for you. But it's what it is. But I said to people, here am I, same Kem Jones, doing the program in the morning, doing the program in the night, volunteering his time and effort, to defend the party, to defend government, to bring perspective to things, to bring clarity to things, to educate, to motivate, to enlighten on the journey, not getting a salary anywhere, still out here, not getting any contract from government or any work from government, nothing at all, nothing, from any statutory this or nothing like that. Not getting any envelope with anything on a monthly basis or anybody in terms of government and this and that and party and so on. Nothing like that. But here is Kem Jones still out here fighting the fight as a seasoned camper, ordinary, simple guy. No fuss, no fact. Same Kem Jones. No braggy, no show off. Same guy. He goes to the funeral. He go by the happy hour. He go bounce a little drink. He go laugh. He go giggle with you. He go be there in your down times. He go be there when you big wedding thing and you invite him. He go be there. A little event. He go throw a little dance. He go free up. He go knock a glass. He go shake. He go be there with you. Same guy. Same Kem Jones. Same individual. No fuss, no fight. All right? No jacket and tie show off, playing thing and nah. No. Same. I'm saying to you, if you want to test, just test loyalty. You want to test it? The people who think and you just get power and don't give them something in the first month, second month, the first year, the second year. There are all kind of bad things to say. All kind of bad things to say about you. Huh? You are MP this and the MP that and just don't give them. Take your time. Don't give them this and that. But you're joking. You're joking. But again, it's a learning curve. There are a lot of people going to front. There are a lot of people going to be green lizard and then all of a sudden they become yellow. They know how to turn, how to change their color quick because they want certain things and they want to be certain places and they want to. At the end of the day, it's what it is. Folks, again, I want to thank the people who continue to give to this program, the little that you have, and support this program. And do not believe that every time it's all good and fine and we can meet our commitments on time. Sometimes it could be very, very difficult. But still, I continue. Still, I continue with that mission. It's not going to be rosy every day, every month, every time. But I continue because I'm genuine to the cause. I want to see NDC remain in power for a very long time to transform this country. And I believe in the most honorable Deacon Mitchell, our beloved Prime Minister and political leader. He's genuine, he's sincere. He wants good for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. And the team of men and women he has, I may not agree with all of them every time. No, I may not take their position every time. But I still believe firmly that they have Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique at heart. And they want to see good things happen for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. They love people. They care about people. And that is why we have to support them. That is why we have to defend them. Because don't believe it would be a walk in the park, right? Don't believe it's smooth sailing always. They will come under attack, physical and spiritual. Because it's a competitive sport, politics. It's competitive. The other side wants to get into power. And they will do everything and anything to get into power. Even if they have to go and dip themselves with blood. Because we have seen that in the past where they bathe with blood, They start wearing all kind of color and bathing with blood. Everybody start to lose their cock in the yard. You understand? We have seen that before. They bathe them down with blood. Well, the Baptist guy, he died. The next one died too. Right? So they bathe them down with blood. All kind of nasty ritual that they, perform and so on. And then you see they traveling to Guyana and back, traveling to Suriname and back. Them Juka, them Pandit, and them, them Hindu priests, and them making a lot of money from them. Them Juka and them Pandit and them. You see the point? Yeah, a lot of money is spending because it is not just a physical battle, but it's a spiritual one too. Because they want power and they do all kind of evil to get there. But if your spirit strong, if you're protected, even if you go in a precipice, you're still going to walk out. No scratch. No bruise, no cut, no nothing. You're just walking out. Even if you go in a precipice. And even if they give you food. All right? And by the time you see it, and you take it and you throw it so, the dog falling down and die, but you're standing up. The cat falling and die, but you're standing up. Don't play with that. Don't play with good spirit, good protection from God Almighty. Don't play with that. So again, we have to continue on that path. Yeah? Let's continue to support one another. Let's continue to make sure that the party is organized holistically. A lot of work to be done. And it's the true soldiers that normally come forward and do the work. So a lot of people come as limers and talkers. When it comes to work, doing the work, it's a different ball game. All right? So folks, have a wonderful day. I'll be back with you tonight again, continuing that journey from 8 in the p.m. until 9.